dark side of Koh Tao. The dangers of the island, where the British were murdered. Koh Tao, Turtle Island, a tiny tourist paradise located in the Gulf of Thailand. With an area of only about 21 square kilometers and a population of approximately 8,000 people as of 2024. This island once proudly claimed to be a safe destination, with no violent crimes occurring for 8 years. It attracts thousands of international tourists each year, with its fine white sand beaches, crystal clear waters, and peaceful atmosphere. But everything changed on September 15th, 2014. That morning, as the sun was just rising over Koh Tao, tourists began gathering at Seri Beach to enjoy a perfect vacation day. However, amid this seemingly paradisiacal setting, a horrific scene unfolded. 2 brutally beaten bodies were discovered right on the beach, one lying on the shore and one in the water. The unfortunate victims were Hannah Witheridge, 23, from Britain, and David Miller, 24, also British. Hannah Witheridge, 23, from Hemsby, UK, was a young woman who dreamed of becoming an educator for disabled children. David Miller, 24, from Jersey, was an intern at a mining company on his way home after working in Australia. He decided to visit Thailand with friends for a break. The two did not know each other before arriving in Koh Tao. They may have met at the hotel or at a local bar, but certainly on the night of September 14th, 2014, both appeared at AC Bar, a popular destination for tourists on the island. According to security camera footage, Hannah and David left AC Bar around 1 a.m. on September 15th, without any friends accompanying them. This was the last time the 2 tourists appeared on camera. Just a few hours later, their bodies were discovered on Seri Beach, only about 30 meters away from Ocean View Bungalows, where they were staying. The person who discovered the crime scene was a deaf-mute beach cleaner. This person accidentally saw the 2 bodies while walking through the area, one body in the water, one body on shore. Beside them was a pile of clothes, later identified as belonging to Hannah and David. The bodies were about 20 meters apart. Local residents quickly pulled the body from the water to shore, fearing that the rising tide would wash it away. Thai police were called, but only arrived very late, around 11 a.m., 5 to 6 hours after the bodies were discovered. When investigators arrived, they did not secure the crime scene. A murder scene was left open to the public, with tourists and even reporters freely walking around. People moved about everywhere, disturbing traces that could have been crucial evidence. Locals even took photos of the bodies and posted them on social media, an extremely disrespectful act toward the victims and their families. At the scene, police found several cigarette butts, a used condom near Hannah's body, and 2 weapons suspected to be the murder weapons, a hoe and a wooden stick, both with red traces. Autopsy results showed that both Hannah and David were hit multiple times on the head with heavy objects, causing serious wounds to their faces and heads. David had water in his lungs, indicating he died from drowning. Hannah, besides being brutally beaten, was also raped. DNA was collected from both victims' bodies and sent for testing, but notably, police did not test DNA on the clothing. When conducting the investigation, Thai police mainly focused on foreign tourists and illegal immigrants, especially Burmese people. A police spokesperson declared that Thai people would not commit such a savage crime, and they primarily focused on non-locals. Initially, police suspected David's roommate was the perpetrator, suggesting this was a crime of passion, where the roommate had feelings for David, but saw him with Hannah and became enraged, killing them both. However, this hypothesis quickly collapsed due to lack of supporting evidence. A mass DNA check was conducted, collecting samples from about 200 people on the island, mostly illegal immigrants. Pressure from the Thai government to quickly solve the case grew increasingly intense, as the incident had severely damaged the image and reputation of the tourist island. After checking security cameras, police discovered footage showing 3 men on a motorcycle going to a 7-Eleven store on the night Hannah and David were murdered. They bought cigarettes and beer, then headed toward Seri Beach. These 3 were identified as Mao Mao, Wai Phio, and Zaw Lin, all illegal immigrants from Myanmar. Mao Mao testified that he had driven with the other 2 before leaving and taking the motorcycle elsewhere. When he returned home, he found the 2 men sound asleep. Zaw Lin and Wai Phio were arrested on murder charges. Notably, these 2 could not speak Thai, so police used Burmese merchants as interpreters instead of calling official translators. According to police, Za and Y saw David and Hannah being intimate on the beach and attacked them. Police claimed that DNA found on Hannah's body, cigarette butts, and murder weapons matched the DNA of the two suspects. David's mobile phone was also found at Za's home. Police even forced the suspects to reenact the entire scene for the media. However, when a lawyer from Myanmar visited the suspects in prison, he noticed they had been brutally beaten. Za and Y retracted their confessions and admitted they were forced to confess. They were tortured by Thai police, beaten daily, locked in cold rooms without clothes, and even threatened with other inhumane torture methods if they didn't confess to the crime. The trial began on July 18, 2015, and lasted 18 days. The judge banned the public from taking notes. Prosecutors presented DNA evidence, the fact that the suspects were illegal immigrants, and the method of the crime. However, they could not produce any witnesses to the crime. The defense argued that the suspects were framed and were not the killers. They argued that investigators had compromised the investigation from the beginning, allowing the crime scene to be disturbed and even making major mistakes in DNA collection. They claimed the police were exploiting the vulnerability of Za and Y, illegal immigrants, making them scapegoats for a crime they did not commit. On July 10th, the court ordered retesting of DNA, and results showed that DNA on the murder weapons did not match either Y's or Za's DNA. An Australian forensic expert, Jane Topin, volunteered to testify at the trial with her independent findings. She argued that the investigators had been hasty in DNA testing, since collecting and identifying mixed DNA is very difficult and time-consuming. Yet investigators had results within 12 hours, which is almost impossible. However, she was not allowed to appear at the trial because it was believed that foreign experts and their testimony could lead to biased decisions and undermine the Thai judicial system. On December 24, 2015, both Y Pheo and Za Lin were convicted of killing Hannah Witheridge and David Miller, and they were sentenced to death, despite recent DNA tests proving otherwise. The defense team tried to appeal twice, once in 2017 and once in 2019, but both times the sentence was upheld. Only on August 15, 2020, were Za and Y's death sentences commuted to life imprisonment on the occasion of the Thai king's birthday. This investigation has been heavily criticized worldwide. The fact that Za and Y had no lawyers before confessing to the crime, the language barrier, and the confused state of DNA testing led many to believe that Thai investigators framed two innocent people for the murders of Hannah and David, while the real killers remain free. Many island residents believe the investigators are covering for the local mafia, who control everything on the island. Additionally, even after the tragic murders of Hannah and David, the island continues to witness mysterious and unresolved deaths of many foreign tourists. This raises the question, is Thai law enforcement protecting wrongdoers? This case is a painful reminder that even in seemingly paradisiacal places, tragedy can occur, and sometimes justice is not always fairly administered. The story of Hannah, David, Za, and Y remains a stain on the history of Thai tourism and an expensive lesson about the fragility of justice in an imperfect world.